Wayne, that was superb entertainment, but what was it like from a coach's point of view?
Probably the same from the first 10 minutes of the game through to about the 70th minute, to be quite honest. Look, it was probably everything you'd expect in a Fiji-Wales game, or certainly the couple I've been involved in, close affairs, and everything we talked about before the game pretty much came to fruition. There was a lot of offloading going on in the early part of the game, which is, we talk about from a defensive point of view, being accurate on the ball carrier and then not allowing those offloads to get away. But they got a few, as they tend to do, and they started very, very well. The biggest problem for us in that first 60 minutes was the fact that we had separation at the breakdown, and they're very strong over the ball, and we talked about that all week long as well. So that's a concern. It's something that we'll be working very hard on this week, making sure that, one, the ball carrier looks after the ball a bit better, and we don't have separation between him and the guys that are designated to clean individual racks.
How did you see the cards decisions and the impact that had on the game?
I don't think you can, put the cart before the horse and worry about what it does to the game. I think, any team that infringes in that way, in your 22, you're going to get cards. And unfortunately for Fiji, that happened today.
Those are obviously a few injuries before the start and early in the game. What can you give us on those players? Thomas Francis, Will Griff-John, Josh Adams.
Yeah, the Josh one was he just felt something in a leg in the warm up. Wanted to start the game and see how it went, but we certainly weren't going to allow that to happen. He was concerned about letting his teammates down, but he's such a good guy, Josh, that he was putting the team for himself. But medical staff and myself made that call with a couple of minutes to go before kickoff. So it was a late change in the changing room. But these things can happen, and you just have to adapt. Hopefully Josh, they won't keep him out for too long. So that was precautionary. And then, we had a couple of head knocks, and Will Griff-John and Will Rowlands with a 6-day turnaround. We'll just have to see how they are tomorrow. But, it could be we dig a bit deeper into the squad.
And a word, if you would, about Lewis Rees-Zammit's try?
That's what he can do. You can't coach that. That is just express pace. And I was just pleased for him because, he was marked fairly heavily, and he was across on the left wing. But, I was really, really pleased. He showed that individual brilliance and that raw pace that he has. And, it's great to have him in your side when he can do those sorts of things.
Thank you, Wayne.
Thank you.
Hi, Wayne. It's Alex here. Can I ask you about the midfield balance, not just in this game, but in the autumn so far? It felt like there was, lack of direction, a physical threat for long periods. Do you think Willis sort of changed that in the last couple when he was on the field? Oh,
look, there's lots of things that happened. I think, talking to the midfield pair that were on early in the game, they felt that a lot of the hard work was done, and they felt that things were starting to open up. So if you talk to Johnny Williams, he would have loved to have been on there in the last 15, 20 minutes of the game. But look, we selected the side a certain way. We wanted Josh Adams out there to have a look at him. That didn't happen. So I think there was going to be a little bit of time to get things right for the pairing that started the game. And then it was one of those games where Fiji were very, very physical, and at times we were knocked off our stride. It's as simple as that.
Do you think Willis is in contention to start next week?
Oh, we'll definitely be reviewing the game and looking at it. And he's one that we wanted to use at the start of the series, and you'll be well aware of that. So the fact that he's been out hasn't been through anything except COVID.
Just lastly from me, in terms of the breakdown that you've talked about already, that must be a real work on for Australia, who are obviously very good in that area.
Yeah, they are, but the Fijians pose a different threat from some of the other sides. They're just so big and so strong over the ball. And you're talking about, 1 to 15, really, guys that can get over the ball, the great athletes, are very quick to get in there as well and take their opportunities and strong over it. So, we talked about that during the week, as well as their offloading game, and they certainly didn't let us down in that area. They were very, very good. And often you've got to pay credit to the opposition to say that on the particular day that we had out there, they did very well in that area of the game.
Hi, Wayne. The late rally with the 4 late tries, did that paper over the cracks a little bit, or is that unfair?
I was waiting for that. No, look, as I mentioned, Fiji threw everything at us. They did very, very well. They went down a man, and that galvanised them. And I think at that point, talking to their coach, they talked about at halftime they had everything to gain and nothing to lose. And quite often, when you go out with that sort of cavalier attitude, things can come off for you. And they were a player down, yes, but it still meant in all the breakdown areas they still had big men over the ball, and they caused us problems. And we didn't really get a flow on. We talked about with the extra man building phases and wearing them down. And ultimately, at the end of the game, that did wear them down. But it took us a while to get those multiple phases because of our inaccuracy at the breakdown.
With Australia next, what have you made of them over the last few months? Obviously, they lost at Twickenham yesterday, but were quite close to England for long periods of that game. How much better are you going to have to be to beat them next week?
Well, we'll start looking at them from tomorrow. But look, Australia will be a very good side. They're well coached. Dave Rennie, I know well. They have a lot of quality through their squad, and they'll be hurting after the last couple of games. So we expect them to come, and it should be a very physical game. And hopefully, if the weather's good, it'll be a pretty free-flowing sort of game with any luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, Wayne. With that breakdown separation you spoke about, is that a timing thing, a communication thing between the players? What's the fix there?
No, I think sometimes it's just the boys were, I thought, a little bit hesitant in the first half, a little bit slow to react. I don't think we switched on as quickly as we could have and been as urgent as we needed to be. Now, whether that was the red card happening early in the game, and if you drop off 1 or 2% mentally, think it's going to happen, then you can find yourselves in trouble. But look, it's certainly something that we addressed before the game. We'll look at it, we'll review it and make sure that we look to improve in that area of the game, because Australia will be very strong in that area as well.
A couple of more tries today. How much has gone into that, and how important is that balance to have that set piece threat as well as your wider game?
Sorry, there was just an echo on the first part of the question.
Just with the tries off the maul today, how important is it to sort of have that balance between that set piece attack and what you're trying to create out wide as well?
Well, after last week where we didn't drive much at all against the South Africans, we wanted to change things up a bit and just suck the Fijian forwards in and try to take some petrol out of the tank, to be quite honest. We felt that was working, but they defended quite well in that area as well. So, but I think that all contributed in the way the game finished.
Thank you.
Final one from me, Wayne. Do you think Josh Adams, Thomas Francis and Aaron Wainwright will be available for next weekend, please?
And Will Rollins, I guess, is the other one.
Yeah.
The two HIAs, look, it has been done before, a 6-day turnaround, but not very often. So, look, we'd have to say that they're in doubt. And Aaron Wainwright is looking good for next week.
Sorry, Thomas Francis as well. Obviously, he had a knock on training on Friday.
Yes, he did, unfortunately. But he is a couple of days into his protocols and is passing the different levels that he has to. So far, he's on track.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.